Waiters, waitresses of Reddit, what's something that I, as a customer, might do that's incredibly irritating, even if I'm oblivious to it? We have a sign in the front of our restaurant that says please wait to be seated by our hostess. I cannot tell you how many times a day people look at that sign and then seat themselves. Stop. We have a hostess for a reason. If she isn't there the second you walk in the door, I promise you she will return in a timely manner. Especially outside. I can't count the number of times people have sat themselves outside, a lot of times at dirty tables, and then complain that they've been waiting for so long and nobody has helped them. We didn't know you were there, or a new table. That's why we have a hostess. Former waitress. As much as I like talking to you, please don't try to draw me into a long conversation, especially if we're at all busy. I want to be friendly, but I can't stand there and talk about where my family's from and what I'm doing in school. And please don't be creepy to your waitstaff. Again, friendly is fine, but it's probably not appropriate to openly flirt. The worst culprits of this were 40+ men when I was 16-20, very often with their wives and kids there. It's probably not appropriate to openly flirt. This can be a two-way street if I'm with my jealous girlfriend and you're a really cute waitress. If you enjoyed your service, say something to the manager, not just the server. Also, have it be reflected in how you tip. As much as we appreciate feedback on how we're doing, verbal compensation does not pay the rent. If you enjoyed your service, say something to the manager. I used to work as a cashier and I loved hearing from my supervisors that a customer told them I was doing a great job. I did hosting and waiting at a nice place from high school through college. Wait times. When I worked front of house, I had to give estimates for wait times. My estimate was based off of years of experience and visual cues of how far along folks were into their meals. It's an estimate. If I could predict your wait time accurately to the minute, I would have been working somewhere more advanced than food service. Please don't glare at tables who are still eating because you came in during the rush without a reservation. And did I seat that table of 2 before your table of 8? Even though you arrived first, it's not really all that hard to puzzle out why. If all 8 of you want to sit at the 2 top, be my guest. Please don't seat yourself at a dirty table in a section that is not open, and then proceed to complain that nobody noticed you. Babies and wheelchairs. When you said a party of 5 and neglected to tell me about the 3 high chairs that you need, you will end up at a table that is too small. Ditto for wheelchairs. Please let us know that one of your guests needs a little extra space for a wheelchair. I would have made a different choice and have got the booth versus the table that has a height adjustment. Also, if you have one of those enormous wheelchairs or scooters, please make a distinction. I want to put you somewhere where everyone will be comfortable. Help me to help you. Don't cut them off or blurt your order out before they can speak. If they come up to introduce themselves and tell you the specials, let them. I can't stand the people who just blurt out Diet Coke as soon as the server walks up. Be friendly, they're people. I used to get crap like this when I worked retail. I'd see someone browsing in my department and wander over just to say hi and let them know I was around if they had questions. I never bought into any of the upselling or pressure balls the company pushed. Hi, how are Toda? I'm just looking. Well then frick you. Say please and thank you. Please. Don't snap or whistle at the server. Waving your hand is perfectly acceptable. Don't run the server. Ask for everything you need when the server asks you, is there anything I may get for you? Don't be on your cell phone when the server is trying to take your order. Don't leave your used wadded up tissue full of your mucus on the table. At least put it on your plate. Don't threaten the server about his/her tip before or after she has introduced him/herself to the table. Don't leave an entire tip in coins. If you're religious, do not pander your religion to the server, especially in fake dollars, and then call them a horrible person because she has to work on Sundays. Don't ignore the server when she approaches the table. There are many more, but these were some of the major offenses I experienced during my 7-year imprisonment in the restaurant world. I always feel weird because no one else I dine with ever says please or thank you, and I kind of feel like a broken record since I say it so much, but it feels rude not to acknowledge what they're doing and I'm appreciative of their job. If you are a religious person going to eat lunch on Sunday, obviously after church try to act like a religious person and be kind to your server. I haven't actually waited tables in years, but the thing I remember most was people coming in on Sunday afternoons in their church best and proceeding to treat the wait staff like complete dog crap. Just because you attend mass regularly doesn't give you the right to treat people who had to work on Sunday like crap. Hypocritical buttholes. On behalf of all the good Christians that don't do this, I'd like to apologize. There, all 100 of us feel better now. If you don't like the food, please don't take it out on the server. I had a mom and her daughters ring up about a $100 bill. They loved the soup and appetizers, but the steak took a long time and came out cooked wrong. I comped the steak for them $30 off their bill, but the mom proceeded to treat me like crap. When I went to pick up the bill, I was shocked to see she didn't leave me a cent. That was one of my only tables that night, so I lost out on $20. The worst part is that I had given them great service, but I got the blame for the cook's mistake. Hey, people forget that service equals food quality. If your server went out to comp your steak, that is great service. Waiter here, please don't leave dirty diapers at the table. How did they get there anyway? Were you changing your baby at the table? This has happened to me at least 5 times in the last couple years. I've caught people setting up. I tell them there is a change station in the bathroom. Do it there, not where people who are eating can stare at your kid's crappy bum. My experience is fine dining based, so it's not quite the same. The type of things that would irritate me are not the same as in a family establishment. So for fine dining, try to consider these things. 1. Don't bring your kids. I know you love them, but in a place that is typically about $100 a person, no one else wants to see your kids there. 2. Don't stack your plates. I have a method for taking things off the table. 3. Don't sweep your crumbs into the floor. Would you do that at home? I have tools and will clean it up myself without getting crap all over the floor. 4. If your glass, non-alcoholic beverage, is less than 60% full, I promise I see it. In fact, often I will approach a table and say, other than tea, is there anything that I can get for you? Many annoying customers will say, I need more tea. Yes, I know, that's why I said what I said, which leads me to my final point. 5. Listen to me. I assure you I know more about our food and drinks than you do. In fine dining, your server is not there to entertain you. Their job is to be invisible for the most part. Fine dining servers will help you and get out of the way. If I am talking to you, it is probably something of value, somewhat related. If you say something and I am within 20 feet, I heard it. Bonus: if you are eating and someone drops something, don't clap or cheer. I assure you there is nothing that pisses the staff off more in that moment than calling attention to it. As a matter of fact, I do sweep crumbs into the floor at home. I've been working in restaurants for 8 years as a manager and a server. Here are some things I despise. I know the owner. Can I get a discount? No, you cannot. The only way you get a discount is if you're on the approved list. I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do about it. Snapping, grabbing, or pulling on me to get my attention. It only makes you get worse service after I've been released from your grip, allowing your children to run wild. When I first started serving, I accidentally tripped over a child while walking with a huge tray of drinks. I fell down, spilled the drinks all over me, and got reamed out by the mother for kicking her child, who was sitting on the floor in the middle of the walkway, the kids' table. Allowing your children to sit separately with no adult supervision is nice for you, but it's a nightmare to deal with and clean up for me. The verbal tip: you are the best server I've ever had equals 5% tip on $200 bill. Saying everything is fine when it's not, then calling a manager over because everything is obviously not fine, and you didn't want to hurt the server's feelings. Helping me clear off tables because you think I'm cute. It only makes you seem like a weirdo. One thing I absolutely adore: leaving comments. Write on TripAdvisor if you had a good experience. Write a note on the signed credit card receipt saying your server was great. This ensures the manager will see the comment later on. I refer to it as the lip tip, and I hate it. Also, if someone tells you they're going to tip really well, generally means that they are not. When you have something discounted or for whatever reason taken off the check, and you tip only on what you paid for, Cisco guys get half off at my work and they never tip from the full amount. They get half off and I get half a tip. That's crazy. One time a group of my friends and I were eating and for whatever reason the manager gave us our meal for free. I think because of a long wait for food, but we didn't care. And the waitress was pretty good so we just tipped her what we would have paid for the meal. Making the same entire jokes because you don't know me. I found myself doing this, and when I began waiting tables, I saw it reflected back. I can't speak for other servers, but I'm there to make your dining experience everything you expect. If you feel shy or awkward, that's okay. You're not being judged. We don't have time to judge the normal tables. You know what you want or know why you came in. We're there to live up to that. You don't have to make small talk to make me like you. And the same dad type jokes are like nails on a chalkboard. Just be pleasant and normal and let me make the experience awesome for you. Follow up. If you bring your kids out with you and you're meeting friends, don't expect us to babysit. We used to get a table of regulars, 3-4 couples, who would bring their kids along and seat them at a separate table. Logistics worked out with ordering and tickets without issue, but without fail, the kids would grow restless after 20 minutes and spend the next hour making the restaurant their playground. If you can't mind and tend to your children, leave them with a babysitter or go somewhere else. We're dashing about at full speed trying to tend to everyone in a timely manner. Having children at play in our traffic lanes, especially when carrying trays full of hot food or glasses full of cold beverages, is just asking for trouble. And don't let them skate around the joint in those damned Heelys shoes. As a former waiter, I loathed having customers snap their fingers whistle to get my attention. I'm not a dog. You are not my master. Just a jackbutt who may end up being served questionable food. I once had a lady pull the back of my shirt while I was helping another table. I've never felt so much rage. Coming in with a table of 10 plus people and leaving crappy tips. In most places, you can't split the bill with that many people and the tip is usually included. But at my restaurant we have a very primitive ordering system and it's usually just easier to run a table like that as 10 separate tickets. Through this, I have noticed that old ladies are the worst tippers in the world. I've taken a lot of tables with 10 plus old ladies eating Sunday dinner that have left little to sometimes no tips, despite the fact that I had to give other tables in my section to another server in order to be a good waitress to them. Once I had a group like this that took up both of our large tables in the back, and got miserable compensation for it. One lady only left me a 50-cent tip. I've heard a lot of restaurant goers say that tipping is unfair and is just an added fee. You're right, it is unfair. Unfair in that it is literally all we make. After taxes, we have no paycheck. We get paid $2 an hour in most states. So if you decide you'd rather someone wait on you hand and foot to make sure you don't have to get up and get a drink yourself or that you have enough ketchup for your fries or whatever it is you want, be willing to actually pay for it. If it's not worth it to you, go to McDonald's or something. Never grab your server. No exceptions. Seriously, you'd be surprised by how many people have the nerve to grab my arm while I'm passing their table to get me to stop. Touching is a big no. No, if I am not looking in your direction or simply missed your hand wave, loudly but politely call excuse me if you bothered to remember my name when I introduced myself at the start of the meal. It'll be even easier for me to notice you're calling me in a loud, crowded dining room. If your server had dropped the check at your table, kindly put a form of payment inside in a prompt manner. Don't just let it sit there for the extra half hour while you talk. Most restaurants won't make you leave the table after you pay and you can sit there as long as you want. But not paying means the server has to constantly remember to check back with you, which is time consuming. And nothing is more awkward than your server picking up the checkbook only to see you haven't applied payment, and having to put it back down on the table. Also, it makes things faster for you when you are ready to leave, and you don't need to wave down your server to take your credit card after they've long forgotten about you. If something is wrong with your food, let us know as soon as possible. Most servers will check back 3 minutes after dropping on trays and ask how everything is tasting. This is the time to say you are missing the extra chicken, or the steak is the wrong temperature, or you asked for a different sauce. Don't wait until you've eaten the whole thing and we've already cleared the dishes to say you didn't like it. I can't fix it by then. At best the manager can comp the dish, and that makes you seem like you are complaining just to get free food, which is tacky, and you will be gossiped about in the break room. Please be aware that you are not the only table your server has and not everything can be done at the exact moment you want it done. One time I was serving a table and at the time they came in they were my only table. I checked in 4 times to take their order, but they weren't ready each time. Right after I checked on them that 4th time, I get the dinner rush of 4 or 5 tables. Now, at this point I have to greet all of them and give them menus and such. This lasted maybe 3 minutes at the most when a child from the first table taps me from behind to tell me they were ready to order. So I return 3 minutes after they were telling me for the 4th time that they weren't ready to order yet and hear one of them say, "We thought you forgot about us." No, you didn't want to order for a half hour when it was slower, but you all of a sudden need to order at the exact moment I need to help other tables. Yeah, I understand you want fast service, but I am not going to ignore other tables just for you. To me, it's the equivalent of standing in the middle of line then yelling to the front desk that they forgot about you. You are not forgotten, you just have to wait your turn. Don't shake your empty drink glass at me. Don't let your bastard children run wild. And don't make stupid jokes that I have already heard 10 times today. Hard at work or hardly working, more like hardly tolerable. Where I come from the drinks are twice as strong and half the price. Great. Go back there. What can I get that's sweet but not too sweet? And strong but doesn't taste like booze? Oh, and I only have $5. You can get out. Now. If you go into a coffee shop and say to me I'll just have a coffee, it makes me want to throttle you. The queue is nearly out the door, man, be specific. Also don't let your kids run around. I'm carrying hot drinks or fully stacked trays about the place. Half the time I'm already tempting Lady Gravity to play her cruel hand by carrying multiple plates drinks. I don't need to be dodging toddlers at the same time. One of these days a kid is going to a latte mug to the soft spot and I will get the blame. Another pointer for the parents. In a crowd cafe restaurant, don't leave your massive kiddie chariot in the middle of the floor. I can't always maneuver around that behemoth. I will never understand why such tiny people need such a huge contraptions to be carted around in. Specific to coffee shops here. I don't know about other places, but ordering a takeaway does not give you some kind of freaking fast pass to make your hasty exit with your 4 large lattes in the space of 3 minutes. It's a queue system. Those who have place sitting orders will get served before you if they ordered before you. If we are busy, sometimes I tell those who order takeaways there might a 5-minute wait and they look at me with a look of outraged confusion and say, "But mine's a takeaway." Yes, I know. I just took your order. Can you not see the room of people who ordered before you? Not telling these people what I think of them can be challenging to say the least. Another thing, the sign says free Wi-Fi, not free Wi-Fi and technical support. If it's slow or you disconnect, can't connect, it is either A, you are incapable of entering the 8 characters of the password without making an error, or B, one too many hipster is busy Instagramming his her latte art that they got on his her coffee whilst streaming some music by a band artist you probably wouldn't have heard of. I can do nothing about this, and most likely, I have better things to be doing. And finally, I know I am the one thing standing between you and your sweet C8H10N402, but I am a human being. I hate being in work as much as you hate the fact that you are about to go to work. Don't treat me like an extension of Till. I don't need that crap. Especially first thing in the morning when I'm still as groggy as you and that 15 minutes break is nothing but a distant glimmer of light in the douchebag infested clusterfuck that is my shift. Taking a plate of food or cup that you ordered off of my tray while I take care of someone next to you. I understand you're just trying to help save me some time and make my job easier, but you need to understand I'm essentially balancing that tray. Putting anything on or taking anything off without me seeing you do so ruins that balance and will almost always end in a loud, embarrassing, and potentially expensive drop. Bread is not an appetizer. If it's an establishment that serves bread as part of the dining experience, rest assured your bread will come. True story time. Me. Welcome to Random Eatery. My name is Anon and I'll be taking care of you this evening. Would you like to start with a drink while I give you a moment to look over the menu? Pardon? Bread? Me? Okay, but I'm not sure how you're going to get that through a straw. He wasn't even like, could we get some bread? Nope, just the singular word. I pretty much knew I wasn't going to get tipped, so I just went ahead and had fun with them. The tip completely lived up to my expectation. Service was stellar, by the way, as a former bartender as well. Settle your bar tab before you go to your table if you order drinks while waiting. Waiters and waitresses, as a former dishwasher, please dump out your ramekins, dump all the food in the trash, and don't toss your plates and silver into our area, just set it down. We work just as hard as you and get paid minimum wage. No tips for us. Plus we have to close up, so be nice to us. Make the payment slightly visible sticking out of the check presenter so we know you are ready to pay. Nothing worse than not knowing if you have put cash or card in it, then coming to take it to find out that you have not, or that you did, and were wondering what was taking us so long to come take your payment. Also, don't guard the thing like it's featuring Knox. Per my girlfriend, do not walk in at 9:55 and order a drink, slowly sipping it until 10:45 when the place closes at 10. A lot of people, apparently, are not aware that this is rude and causes the staff to work for an extra hour. Keep in mind hourly wage is like $2. Most of the pay is from tips. Respect the closing time of the establishment. 5-10 minutes past, no problem, but don't be a dong. I'm the closest thing to a waiter where I work. If you go to places like Chipotle, Subway, anything close to a fast food restaurant, and you're paying with cash when it's fairly busy, please don't try to make exact change. Yes, it would be easier, but chances are I can hand you a couple coins faster than you can dig up the change out of your wallet. This is appreciated if there is nobody behind you, but don't hold up the line like this. Touch my tray while I'm trying to serve you and you completely deserve anything that spills on you. I don't care if I've got 6 cocktails stacked on a tray, a sizzling dish in the other hand and a book between my arm. I am balanced. Do not touch me, and yes, at this point my tray is an extension of myself. Wowza. I haven't worked in a restaurant in 2 years, but that frustration boiled back up fast. One time while working as a waiter at the Olive Garden, I was bring a tray full of drinks back to a table of approximately 10 people. Now in order to fit everyone at one table, we had a table set up that was just 2 tables pushed together with a tablecloth stretched over them tightly to make it appear as if it were one table. So I'm there with my tray of drinks and I'm sitting them down one at a time. And as I'm sitting the third drink down, I accidentally place in between where the 2 table meet, and because the tablecloth was stretched so tight I didn't notice that the one table was slightly higher than the other. So as I let go of this drink to sit it down in what feels like slow motion, it begins to tilt, and as I'm trying to reach to grab it to keep it from falling, I made a huge mistake. Now I don't know why I did what I did next, but for whatever reason, in an effort to save the tipping glass, my gut reaction was to throw the tray that was full of drink over my left shoulder. The glass ended up tipping over anyways, and I hurled a tray full of drinks across the Olive Garden. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.